up, Teambackpack? I'm your host, Marijuana, and I'm sitting here with Radimus and Dwan, and we're comparing two albums that dropped this year, and we want to know which one of these records are worthy of being Album of the Year. We got Joey Badass's Before the Money and Dizzy Wright's The Growing Process. So, let's start with Joey Badass.
Joey did his thing. He did. He's an old man and a young man. Like, he has an old soul, man. This kid has an old soul. And I can say that the bar is always on point from Joey, but the beat selection was pretty good. It was something that I didn't expect. And he went out on a limb on some tracks where he showed his versatility. And I was like, oh, okay, he's trying to push the limits. Because sometimes people get, that whole pro era thing and they put them in a box. They put them in a box. And he stepped outside of that box on a few of the tracks that I heard on there.
When it comes to Joey Badass, like, you get what you wanted from Joey on Big Dusty, on the Christ Conscious, but he's making it a point musically, not just in interviews, not just mad. Like, he's making it a point to be like, yo, I'm more than that. When he does the Kaiser joint, when he does the song with Rory, the Like Me joint is my favorite joint on it with BJ the Chicago Kid, where it's like, hold on, wait, this isn't the same dude who debuted on TV with Waves and just spit bars, literally no hook. This is a dude who's like, no, let me be more conscious of where music is heading today. Let me be more conscious of the things I actually like, not just what people like from me. And let me make a body of work that tests those flows, that tests me to really switch up how I'm writing, what I'm writing about. How do I make it as conceptual as possible, but still like a New York album in a way.
Dizzy Wright?
Dizzy's never been the dude, to me. Maybe he thinks he's a really punchline rapper. I literally only hear clarity. You know what I'm saying? I hear like somebody who's speaking. I hear somebody that knows his flow, is very comfortable in his flow, and knows how to adapt his flow. That's one of the first things you hear off the record. It's just like, yo, every beat, every choice of flow, his voice always sits in a great pocket. You know what I'm saying? If you're a boom bap listener, you're gonna enjoy that album as well. But I think for me, when you're looking at the human aspect to it, I think Dizzy is really coming into himself in that.
I concur with you on that, because I really felt like, because I listened to like singles from him before, but I never listened to a full body of work. And I was surprised to hear the consciousness in his music. Like, I thought he was just gonna be on some real ignorant shit. And I'll be honest, like, you know what I mean? And it's just from the human aspect, we judge before we see a lot of things. But he was real conscious. Like, I love the song with Bone. I even know that, he's family members with one of the Bone Thugs members. I like both of them on the album, but I didn't like it back to back. I didn't like it back to back for some reason. Like, I just didn't like it back to back. But he has a song at the bottom of his album where it talks about his daughter and things like that. Because I have kids, that shit struck a chord with me. Like, and I forgot what he said. He said something about how do we plant a seed but don't harvest it. And I was like, oh shit. That shit caught me off
he's
guard.
Young. He's not 23.
Yeah,
he's 21 years old.
And that shit caught me off guard. Like, oh, he talking some real shit. And he's young. Like, you know what I mean? And and throughout the album, he's always trying to display or put out some type of message. And I love that. I love that in any type of music. Like, you can have all that ignorant shit, but still try to, create some type of positivity within that. And I think that's what he did.
Both these thoughts on the albums, this is another hard one.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is.
Because they're both
under 21, I'm riding with the home team, yo. I got to, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's just kind of, that's no knock to Dizzy, I love Dizzy. And actually, Dizzy's one of those artists that sometimes they'll go on World Star and just click on a random name I never heard of. And I remember looking, I was like, oh, this dude is actually nasty. And then I look and I'm like, oh, this dude is already kind of already blown. But like, I naturally was already kind of with his energy. But I don't know, man. I'm just one of those growth dudes. And it's just like, I like to see people fail. I like to see people take a risk. I like to see you tried this and it worked. You tried this and it didn't, but you tried.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think for me, maybe that's what kind of puts me off in a little bit. I guess in Dizzy, right, it's like it flowed too easy for me, production-wise. Like, I mean, obviously he's still learning. We all are. But I feel like I want to see him take more risks as an artist for an album of the year? Is it an album that can just play and I can just ride to and do what I can clean my room and just bump and never have to try to press skip? Yes, you can enjoy it for his body of work, but I think for me it's always about, like I said, an impact on the album, an impact in hip hop. How is it shifting your perception as an artist? I think the album pleases Dizzy Wright fans, but may necessarily bring in new fans to Dizzy Wright. Whereas opposed to Joey, I think it can gravitate people who weren't already listening to Joey and get him more on board, get them more on board onto his sound and his direction. So.
Well, doesn't matter what we think. We want to know your thoughts. Log on to www.teambackpack.com.